You got it locked into New York's best talk, HTLA Radio 1, New York.
This program is intended for mature audiences only.
Yes, it is. Ha ha! This program is intended for mature audiences only, and if you think you may be not mature, you'd better consult your doctor or something along those lines. There you go. Well, welcome to today's Coffee and Cigarettes, this Thursday double on HTLA Radio 1 New York. I am your host, Chris Crash Jesus Taylor, sitting in for myself because I am not here today. I'm sick. But I'm actually still here. This is my robot version. Yes. So let's hope he does as bang up a job as I do. Yes. 36 degrees in Central Park. It's cold, and it's, very cloudy and nasty, and looks like it's going to dump snow any minute. So it might be time for you to, of course, come on in, grab a cup, have a seat, and light one up, because it's time for Coffee and Cigarettes. The Hill Street Blues theme. No, just kidding. Yes, I know. Most of my listeners don't even know what Hill Street Blues is. Well, there you go. True story. Welcome again to the show today. Once again, you can check out all of our shows at HTLA Radio 1 New York by going to HTLARadio1.com. Yes, you can. And prepare to be smacked in the face with a little bit of holiday cheer. Yes. And speaking of holidays, I've got some sad Santa news today. Yes, I do. Very, very sad. Oh, so sad. But no, really, I do. Santa's dead, actually. No, not being facetious. He's dead. There you go. Also, I do have to mention, of course, that oh yeah, today's fine episode, the Thursday double of Coffee and Cigarettes, of course, is brought to you by the 8 wonderful locations of Tim Hortons, New York City, proudly serving all those Canadian goodies to all you American buddies. How's it going, eh? There you go. Kind of a mix-up show today for you. A little serious, a little fun. I know I say fun every day, and I just bring nothing but the misery, don't I? I just bring nothing but the misery. Well, rest assured, today I've got fun. Okay, this is what I'm calling fun. Damn it, I'm sticking to it. In the booth with me today is the wonderful, beautiful Jenny McCartney. Sorry, McCarthy. See, even I get confused at that. Is she a playmate or isn't she? She looks like one, but she's not. But she could be, but she isn't. But you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You just can't win, I tell you. Well, I guess topping the stories, yes, the great stories. I've been talking on Coffee and Cigarettes last 2 days, actually. Or was it 3? No, it was 2. About the lovely CIA torture report. Yes, and asking the question to anybody out there, what is the point? Who's gaining by this report being released? How does it make any of us look better? And indeed, what are the overall ramifications that we're going to suffer now globally as a result of this joyous little 525-page document that they released? Although North Korea seems to have a copy that's 6,200 pages. That's good for them, though. They can use all that extra paper and make some more, missile trucks. Here we go. Also got the kids with me here today from Crash Talk, of course. Yeah. Love to bring them in. And, of course, the one, the only, the man who taught me, well, that I guess you can get more money getting somebody to do 2 years of acting before you teach them filmmaking. Louis Lawless, yeah. He's here today. Go ahead, Louis. Are you there?
Can you give me any help for $25,000?
It's always money with you.
All right, go a half an hour. Do I get $50,000?
I'm still going to stick to I've given you enough. Yeah.
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawless.
Yes, of course. Yes.
The music is fantastic.
It is.
Oh, you got to hear it.
I know. I always do. Anyway, he is joining us live via satellite, pretty much as always here around Coffee and Cigarettes from the beautiful Mill Bay Studios in beautiful Mill Bay, British Columbia, Canada. And he'll be interjecting his commentary throughout the series of stories I have for you today. Sometimes not always poignant, but, well, actually never on point. Well, okay, all right, fair enough. I don't know why we have him on.
He called me, and he called me, and he kept calling me, and I wouldn't answer the phone.
Yes, and then you called us, and here we are. There we go. Simple as that. Well, in my conversations the last couple of days about the, of course, CIA torture report, and my questions that I've been putting out to you, the listener at HTLA, about, geez, how is this good for anybody? Well, none of you out there seem to have a direct answer. Well, it benefits this, or it's because of this, or it's trying to take our minds off the story of dead Santa. Well, it could be that, I guess, but really nothing tangible, I'm thinking. Well, today, the director of the CIA mounted a forceful but nuanced defense of the spy agency in response to the damning Senate report on its use of torture during the George W. Bush administration. Quote, in many respects, the program was uncharted territory for the CIA, and we were unprepared, John Brennan said in an unprecedented 45-minute televised press conference earlier this afternoon from the agency's beautiful headquarters in Langley, Virginia. But, he went on to say, the president authorized the program 6 days after 9/11, and it was our job to carry it out. Brennan also said the agency made mistakes within the program, especially early on, and that some of the techniques were abhorrent and should be repudiated by all involved. None of these lapses should be accused, downplayed, or denied, he said. I love the new transparent CIA, don't you? Yes. But he said he disagreed with the Senate Intelligence Committee report's key conclusions, namely that the agency's use of torture was ineffective and that the CIA lied about it to Congress. Brennan denied wholesale and international lying to Congress or public about tortures, though he conceded that the agency sometimes gave information that was inaccurate, imprecise, or fell short of our tradecraft standards. Brennan said the CIA is continuing to make reforms to make sure there is more oversight on interrogations, He never used the word torture to refer to what he called an enhanced interrogation technique system. Even as he spoke, Senate Intelligence Committee Chairwoman Dianne Feinstein gave a real-time rebuttal via Twitter, saying, quote, CIA, FBI, NSA, DIA, DOD, NGA, State Department, DHS, and many other agencies help keep us safe. Torture does not. End quote. She went on another tweet saying, Brennan, unknowable if we could have gotten the intel other ways. Studies show it is knowable. CIA had info before torture. Read the report. She goes on with another tweet. CIA helps our nation be safe, strong, and torture does not. We must learn from our mistakes. Hashtag read the report. And then a final tweet. 500-page executive summary is a small part of the 6,700-page report. Oh, see, it was 62. Now it's 67? I'm telling you, gang, the Koreans are going to be some pissed. Oh, yes. What do you mean we only got 6,200 of 6,700 pages? Yes, no cherry picking here, she says. Everything is documented by 38,000 footnotes. Well, Senator Ron Wyden, Democrat of Oregon, another supporter of the report, also joined the fray, tweeting that the, quote, culture of misinformation continues, end quote. Brennan served as Deputy Executive Director of the CIA during the program, but said he had largely a supporting role in the agency's operations. He said he had some visibility into the program, but not management oversight of it. The interrogation program did not produce useful results, Brennan said, including information leading to the raid that killed 911 mastermind Osama bin Laden. But he couldn't say for sure that information couldn't have been obtained by other means. Well, yeah, just yesterday I saw some Osama bin Laden information for sale on eBay for $7.95 plus shipping. And another tweet, Feinstein said there is no evidence that terror attacks were stopped, terrorists captured, or lives saved through use of what the CIA has called enhanced interrogation techniques. Brennan also criticized the Senate committee for not interviewing key people involved with the programs, and said he wishes that more policymakers understood the CIA's work. Many agency officials, Brennan said, don't write down much of what they say in meetings, so referring only to records, memos, or emails provides only an incomplete picture of the work. The interviews would fill in the blanks, he said. Most of the criticism towards Brennan has come from his continuing defense of the agency into the Obama administration. Director Brennan and the CIA today are continuing to willfully provide inaccurate information and misrepresent the efficacy of torture. In other words, the CIA is lying, says Senator Mark Udall, Democrat of Colorado. He said in the state floor speech Wednesday, in which he renewed a call for Brennan's resignation, quote, this is not a problem of the past, but a problem that needs to be dealt with today, end quote. Udall also blasted what he called a flippant and dismissive tone from the CIA and the White House's willingness to let the CIA do whatever it likes, even if its efforts are aimed at actively undermining the president's stated politics. Yeah. Whew. Now, President Obama refused to answer reporters' questions about the Senate report during a meeting earlier today of the President's Export Council. He says, quote, we're talking about exports, guys, end quote. Former President Dick Cheney joined the website Wednesday. Joined the website? What am I on, crack? Joined the website. Yes, Dick Cheney joined the HTLA website. You should too, yeah. Wow. Sorry, guys, it's only Thursday. Give me a chance to start the week. Well, it's because of the other story I have about Dick Cheney today, too. You'll like that one. Former President Dick Cheney joined the debate Wednesday, thank you, telling Fox News that the Senate report was, quote, full of crap, comparing it to the criticism of the Reagan-era Iran-Contra scandal in which a group of politicians got together and sort of threw some professionals under the bus. Cheney also said that he had not read the Senate report himself. So I would submit to that, what do you actually know? Yeah. So that's the dealio with that. And now, okay, what do we got? We got a bunch of bureaucrats talking back and forth and fighting and bickering. And, well, that's great, but that's also nothing new. Also, it should be noted that, well, while it's all good and fun to release this report that apparently benefits nobody, now it's further fueling further fights and back and forth between Democrats and Republicans. I wonder what that's going to make the new House sitting in January actually look like. Oh, wait, now that I've had a chance to think about it, probably exactly the way it always has looked like. There we go, huh? Well, if that wasn't enough, Sarah Palin, yes, she's decided to rear her ugly head, yes. But unfortunately, it's not in any kind of intelligent back and forth about the intelligence community's latest torture report. No. She claimed today that the government should force Mexican immigrants to convert to Christianity. Yeah. In an interview with Fox News last night, the former Alaskan governor was asked about whether or not America should welcome the estimated 5 million legal immigrants who will be legalized under President Obama's immigration plan. She says, quote, "America should only be for people who believe in Jesus," end quote, she responded. She went on to say, when George Washington and Abraham Lincoln founded this country, yeah, they made Christianity our official religion, and I don't see any reason to change that now. She says, quote, "The Italians, Irish, and Germans came to the United States and were converted to them all. So why can't we convert the Mexicans? If Obama is going to let these folks in, he needs to get them to stop worshiping cactuses and start following the path of Christ." President Obama announced last month a sweeping plan to let some of the estimated 11 million illegal immigrants remain in the U.S. The largest portion of these immigrants has, of course, come from Mexico. Republicans have criticized the plan over concerns that it rewards law-breaking. But there's also a deeper concern on the right about how immigration from Latin America changes the cultural composition of the country at large. Yet although the United States' southern neighbor have different languages, demographics, and cultures, they do share a common faith. Most of Mexico's 122 million people belong to the Roman Catholic Church, the oldest branch of Christianity. This fact was not lost upon host Sean Hannity, a staunch Catholic himself, who reminded Palin that most Mexicans share Americans' beliefs in Jesus. She says, quote, "Sean, you're embarrassing yourself by saying that Mexicans worship Christ," she responded. "Every time I see a Mexican praying, they're saying, 'Hey, Zeus.' I hate to break it to you, but Zeus is not a Christian god." Oh, that's funny to Mr. Crash Jesus. Yes, it is. Palin served as Alaska's governor from 2006 to 2009, and sadly, she was the Republican candidate for vice president in the 2008 elections. And, oh my God, thank you, Jesus Christ, or Jesus, or whoever, for not allowing that woman anywhere near the House of White. Yes. But now, that's not my only message about God today. No. Oh, no. Yes, and you're sitting there saying, "Oh my God, Crash, are you turning into some religious nut? Are you going all Jesus on us?" Fear not. No, I'm absolutely not doing that. But NASA has found a message from God on Mars. Yeah, that's right. NASA announced today that its Curiosity rover has found an ambiguous message from God written on tablets in a Martian cave. According to official press releases, 2 giant stone slabs the size of small elephants were located deep inside a cavern abutting Aeolus Mons, a large mountain. Upon one tablet is a copy of the 10 Commandments and the text of John 3:16 written in 12 languages, including English, Spanish, Chinese, Basque, and Hebrew. On the other tablet is a simple message in English reading, "I am real." According to top scientists who have studied the discovery extensively, these findings may have definitely established Christianity as the one true religion. "This is amazing," says Sims Covington, an Australian researcher working for NASA's Mars exploration program. "We went into the cave looking for water, and we found proof of God's existence instead." I mean, how else did those tablets get there? I can tell you one thing, there's not a single atheist inside NASA's control room now. What we saw is jaw-dropping, he says. Genesis 1:1, yes, NASA's Curiosity rover arrived on Mars in August of last year with the mission to explore the Martian climate and geology for signs of habitability. Thus far, the mission has been a success with the discovery of an ancient seabed and chemicals needed for life, suggesting that Mars was once suitable for life. However, the tablets, both of which are signed Peace and Love Yahweh, represent the rover's most significant find to date, and is perhaps the most important scientific event in history. Quote, when people find out about this, they will demand change in our society, explains a political scientist at Georgetown University. Democracy will have to give way to theocracy. We're going to have to build more churches and reintroduce prayer into schools. Abortion is defiantly going to be illegal within just a few months. There you go. Despite its potential significance, Covington fears that the earth-shattering discovery may not make the impact it should. Unfortunately, he says, the mainstream media is so anti-Christian they might not even pick up this story, he explains. But God is real and we have proof, and everyone deserves to hear the truth. Yes, there you go. So Louis, what are you thinking about this? Well, actually, God? Yeah.
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, right, because I mentioned the Catholic Church. No, more specifically, about God. Yeah.
Use power. That's why power is corrupt, and it is. We see it every day. We see it in every job. It's the same thing.
So what you're saying is that God is, by putting these tablets on Mars, and now we found them, he's saying that, he's saying what? He signs it, I am real,
That was a mistake on my part.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. See? There we go. We learned something else today on Coffee and Cigarettes. We did not know that Louis was God. There you go. Pretty simple. I like that. We're going to go for our first commercial break, and when we come back, we'll get into some more fun stuff, because, damn it, I've got lots of fun stuff. We just found God.
You got it locked into New York's best talk, HTLA Radio 1, New York.
So do you guys think being fast is better than being slow?
Yes! It's better to be fast, to not be bitten by a werewolf, and then you'll be turned into one, and you'll have to stay in, and then you'll have to get shaved because you'll be too hot, and then you're like, which means I wish I was back to a human.
What?
It's not complicated. Faster is better. And AT&T is the nation's fastest 4G LTE network for your iPhone 5.
The world is facing one of the biggest crises in the history of history. Girls are getting hotter and hotter. This is causing guys to lose their cool. It's happening everywhere. That's why the people at Axe have developed the new Axe Chill collection. It helps guys keep their cool before it's too late. Girls are getting hotter. Keep your cool with the new Chill collection from Axe.
White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum, 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
When you have cable and your picture freezes, you get irritable. When you get irritable, your work suffers. When your work suffers, the wrong man is convicted. When the wrong man is convicted, he has time to think. When he has time to think, he thinks about you a lot. And when he thinks about you a lot, your house explodes. Don't have your house explode. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
I always said shoes are like women. They inspire beautiful music.
But what about these?
Stilettos sound like this.
What does my fragrance inspire?
That's got soul.
Mai Tais are beautiful. They don't need music.
Bringing the stars together. That's the magic of Macy's.
For the best talk, there's only one. HTLA Radio 1.
Well, you know it. There is only one. Well, thank you for coming on back to Coffee and Cigarettes this afternoon for our Thursday double-double here in New York City. 37 degrees still Central Park and still cloudy, but you know it's going to dump any minute. Another 17 feet of snow. Everybody will be burning books at the library just to stay alive in the minus 200-degree temperatures. Yes, Thursday, December 11th is the day after tomorrow. There you go. And, so welcome back to the show. And I did actually, I did want to get onto this next story because it's pretty funny. Yeah. And, I guess just a kind of a little side note there, just before everybody goes out and starts looting or protesting or whatever the excuse is of the day to go out and burn shit to the ground. Well, no, I'm not going to say it. That's right. Too bad. There you go. You figure it out. Mm-hmm. See, this isn't just a show where you get to mindlessly sit there and just have me blurt crap at you. This is the show that actually says, hey, wait a minute. Think about this for a minute. Yeah. There you go. So convert Mexicans to Christianity and a stone copy of the 10 Commandments, as well as a little letter signed by I Am Real. Yes, Jesus himself found on Mars. It doesn't get any better than that. You know, it just doesn't. And, you're taking down some fine coffee or enjoying some fine cigarettes, and you get radio gold like this. Yeah, I'm sorry. You can't get that in Chicago. No, you can't. So moving on with the program now, what we're going to do is we're going to get into a little bit of the other stories I got lined up for you here today, which are equally as fun and amusing and full of entertainment gold. That's what we like to produce here. And, well, in my research today for the show, what better name comes to mind when you want some radio gold? No, it's not Casey Kasem. Nope. Kim Kardashian. Yes, because the celebrity, apparently, who has no talent and doesn't really do anything, who got famous for a sex tape, shortly after Paris Hilton got famous for a sex tape, with all her fame and money that she's gotten paid for doing, essentially nothing, now she's, of course, built herself a little empire. She's got little stores throughout New York City and, well, indeed, everywhere now. I think she's branched out there right across the country, but tastes better than Kim Kardashian's ass. Not that I'd know. Trust me, I wouldn't go there. But now she's further expanding her business empire. And that's not the funny part. Here's the funny part. Kim Kardashian today has released a Barbie-like doll that features the contours of her own oversized backside.
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg.
That's right, and she's got an iceberg, let me tell you.
We're 5 steps away from winning the Academy Award, and we didn't.
I know, and that sucks, because if you had, you may have, been able to do something to stop this woman from ever getting famous or known at all, and she could have just gone off into obscurity, and what a world that would be. Anyway, the, quote, classy booty doll, I'm not even kidding here, is a replica of Kim's infamous Paper magazine shoot recently and is dressed in her signature black sparkly evening gown, gloves, pearls, a top knot, and even comes with a prop champagne bottle and flute, which can be balanced on the doll's butt. Yeah. Yeah, sad, isn't it? It is. But that's true. Coming to you live right from New York City here. Yes. And hey, oh my God, just in time for Christmas, huh? And you know, because Santa's dead, it's a good thing we've got this to fall back on. Yeah. Oh, no, it's not. What am I saying? Well, it's out. It's now available for the holidays. The doll retails for $69.99 and is only available at Dash stores through Dash.com as well. The website is offering free shipping until December 12th. Oh, darn, that's tomorrow. I don't think I can possibly get my order in because I'm far too busy. She says, yes, she does speak, although not well. She says, quote, Barbie dolls really have an unrealistic proportions, and I'm really hoping my doll will help young girls of all shapes and sizes, big asses, to love the skin they're in. Yes. My proportions really are attainable. All you need is a good doctor, a custom Kardashian corset, and a personal trainer, explained Kim at her press conference unveiling of the doll. In 2012, the Kardashian sisters were all working on a doll collection of all three of the sisters, but the dolls were never sold due to, quote, scheduling conflicts. Yes. Kim says, I didn't know how to tell Khloe that her doll was basically a Ken doll with a wig, explains, Kris Jenner. Bruce looked more feminine, she said. Oh, let's go transgender today. Why not? Kim was inspired to revisit the idea of a Kim Kardashian doll after making custom Kim and Kanye dolls for her daughter, North. Yes, because that's just a great name. And who apparently just loves them. North is really the smartest little toddler out there. So if she loves something, that's pretty much an indication that everyone will love it. She actually picks out all of my Instagram selfies, and those have like millions of likes. Yeah, the reason that they have millions of likes is because you market to a bunch of sheep that think you're incredible. But let's not go there. Let's stick with the booty dolls, shall we? We should, Jenny, you should tell Kate that we need to get a hold of the Dash.com people there and tell them that we're willing to sell the doll, the booty doll, and we'll mark it up. We'll put it up to like $89, and it'll be the spanked version. It'll be the classy booty doll crash edition, and I'll turn each one of those dolls over my knee and spank the hell out of it, so you'll get the big red booty doll for Christmas. Yeah. Well, the classy booty doll also comes with a mini iPhone prop to take selfies with. Oh my God. Can we go back to talking about Ferguson? Jesus. Owners of the doll are encouraged to take selfies with the doll and post to social media with the hashtag #BeLikeKim. Wow. Yes, and you know, if you pick right, I'm sure you'll have millions of likes. Yes. She says you can't love yourself unless you take a lot of selfies, so you know what you're worth. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, and the classy booty haters. Yes, there's apparently been a huge backlash movement against the large butt doll, as it was almost instantaneous to the doll's release announcement. Moms Against Sex in the Media, Massitim, are picketing Dash stores and trying to get the doll off store shelves. Martha Thomas, an active member of Massitim, said at least Barbie had a job. Yes, at least Barbie had a job. That's it. Oh, this is great. Great stuff here. This is what I'm saying. Coffee and cigarette goers here. This is Thursday double gold right here. Yes. At least Barbie had a job. Well, what is Classy Booty's job, she adds? Aside from having a big butt and being married to a rapper, Is that the kind of role model we want for our daughters? Well, if you want them to be half-assed successful, I guess so. We might as well start teaching them that if your career as a stylist fails, just make a sex tape. Hello! Yeah, there it is. Told you. Well, regardless of the protest, this doll still will be available for the holidays, and it makes a perfect stocking stuffer. And for an additional $29.99, don't forget, a customer can buy an extra-wide stocking to fit the plastic butt. There you go. There it is, right there. Doesn't get much better than that. That's gold. Yeah. Oh, and now, the sad news, gang. The sad news. Santa Claus is dead. It's true. It's true.
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
Oh, yes. They're feel-good stories of the year, I tell you. Well, it's not the Santa Claus, I guess. I should be fair. It's one of the Salvation Army Santa Clauses who was trampled to death on Black Friday. Yeah. An 89-year-old Salvation Army Santa Claus attempting to collect money for charity was trampled to death on Black Friday as shoppers pushed their way through a Cleveland Kmart through the doors on Black Friday. Abraham T. Roosevelt has been dressing as Santa Claus for the past 30 Christmases and has raised nearly $285,000 during that time span for the charity. But the World War II veteran's life tragically ended when a stampede knocked over the Salvation Army's famous red kettle that contains the change. Customers, of course, then scurried for the nickels and pennies that fell out of Roosevelt's bucket. And in a subsequent crush, Roosevelt was killed. Tom Wilkinson witnessed the event and told the local news reporters, quote, "Man, they trampled him twice. There was change and blood flying all over the place. I know this time of year gets crazy, but I ain't never seen a Santa Claus get killed over some pennies," end quote. Kmart employees observed what happened to the old man and stepped in to attempt to save his life. Cindy Lawrence, a longtime employee, told the Cleveland Register, quote, "I see Mr. Roosevelt every year. He served in the U.S. Army and for every war that we ever had since, and these shoppers stomped all over him for some loose change. What is the world coming to? They were animals," she says. "We were trying to get a working wage, and these shoppers are trying to save a few bucks on stuff they don't need. To think Santa Claus has lost his life today is disheartening, to say the least." The shoppers themselves disagree with that assessment and said that their behavior was justified. Quote, "Sure, I think it's kind of sad," says Lucy Robinson, one of the people who trampled the gentleman to death. She says, "I know he helped fight Hitler and ended the Holocaust or whatever, but you know what? I think his death is a small price to pay. My son is going to be able to play Grand Theft Auto 5 this Christmas. I used some of that change to buy him the game. This guy was going to die soon anyway, and in the end, I feel that this is what he would have wanted." Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure that almost 90-year-old man who survived World War II and every war since and is, a proud white American would have wanted to die under your boots while you got Grand Theft Auto 5 for your little snot rag. Yes. A spokesman for the Salvation Army said in a statement, "In our entire 150-year history, we have never seen anything like this before. That includes World War I, II, the Great Plague, and the famous candy cane shortage of 1969. We will be reviewing our safety guidelines and recommend all Santa Clauses now carry sidearms for self-defense." Meanwhile, people need to look at themselves in the mirror and think, quote, "Maybe I should just buy this stuff online. A lot less death this way." Similar tragedies were also reported in Pittsburgh, Portland, Tampa, Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore, Cleveland, Phoenix, Orlando, Denver, Milwaukee, Los Angeles, San Diego, Lewiston, and Philadelphia. Roosevelt leaves behind a wife, 3 daughters, 7 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren, and 1 pet parakeet named Rosie. Well, rest in peace, Santa. Rest in peace. Anywho, we got to go for our second commercial break of the hour today on Coffee and Cigarettes, gang. So sit tight, stick it there with me. I got a lot more fun. Fun for you today in the coffee shop. Back in 2.
You got it locked into New York's best talk. HTLA Radio 1, New York.
You walked into the hotel as a 5. But when she saw the room, you turned into a weird 7. When she saw the rooftop pool, you went to 11. You two should probably get a room. Oh, that's right. You already did. At Planet Earth's #1 accommodation site, Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Have I got a treat for you? New clean whipped cream foundation from CoverGirl. A delicious new recipe whipped up by Clean Makeup. They took their clean, fresh foundation, added a dash of hydration, then whipped it to smooth, matte perfection. Finally, a non-drying whip that wears like a dream. What a treat from Clean. New clean whipped cream from easy, breezy, beautiful CoverGirl.
Glasses. White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
When you have cable and can't record all your shows, you feel unhappy. When you feel unhappy, you go to happy hour. When you go to happy hour, you're up for anything. When you're up for anything, you head to a Turkish bathhouse. When you head to a Turkish bathhouse, you meet Charlie Sheen. And when you meet Charlie Sheen, you reenact scenes from Platoon with Charlie Sheen. Don't reenact scenes from Platoon with Charlie Sheen. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
I always said shoes are like women. They inspire beautiful music.
But what about these?
Stilettos sound like this.
What does my fragrance inspire?
That's got soul.
My ties are beautiful. They don't need music.
Bringing the stars together. That's the magic of Macy's.
For the best talk, there's only one. HTLA Radio 1.
Well, that's right. You are back with us here, live from the HTLA Studio 2 in Manhattan. 37 degrees, Central Park still cloudy, still cold, still about to dump 70 feet of snow. That's why it's so much better in here in the coffee shop with some coffee and cigarettes. Huh? And some of these golden tidbit stories I've brought for you today. Yes. I mean, where else? Seriously, where else? CNN? Not going to happen. Fox? No. Hell, the BBC? No. None of them are going to be carrying Kim Kardashian's butt in a doll or not. It's not going to happen. So there you go. You should feel pretty privileged because this is the kind of stuff you won't get anywhere else. Mm-hmm. And another mention again, I guess, for Tim Hortons New York City. I got to say that my cups are exceptionally good today. So another shout out to them on this Coffee and Cigarettes Thursday double, of course. And what else have I got? Well, I've got Jenny in the booth. I've got Louie, of course, as always, live via satellite from the beautiful Mill Bay Studios. and of course, beautiful Mill Bay, British Columbia. And let's just see if he's still awake. Louis, are you there?
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show?
Yes, he's still there, isn't he? Yes. Well. So, let's see. I've got the Kim Kardashian doll and them finding evidence of God on Mars. What possibly could I have for the third segment of Coffee and Cigarettes today? Well, I've got a couple of things, don't you worry. First of all, Colorado prisons are allowing medical, or no, not medical. See, that's the mistake, right? Colorado corrections are actually allowing recreational marijuana. That's right. The Colorado Department of Corrections is now allowing inmates to grow and consume recreational marijuana in accordance with the state law for the rest of the population. A prison warden, Tim Norton, told the Rocky Mountain News, "We've already seen a decrease in violent crime within the jails. Snack food contraband is up 300%, but that's to be expected. We will continue to monitor the marijuana program, but so far so good. Each inmate is allocated 1 gram of marijuana a day." Damn. But additional weed can be earned through good behavior and prison work programs, not to mention the black market. All the marijuana is grown on prison grounds. The inmates enjoy agricultural duties as part of growing the cannabis plants, Norton says. "We have a waiting list of prisoners wanting to trim the buds. We also have a waiting list of new criminals wanting to become prisoners. We keep half the crop and the rest goes to local Colorado pot dispensaries. Our current projection indicates the prison weed sales will cover 30% of the incarceration costs by 2020. If the strain of prison-grown marijuana is known as Convict Kush, there we go, and is rated highly by High Times magazine and qualified for the prestigious Cannabis Cup Award for the year's best marijuana. Colorado estimates, no. See, this is like a Monday, no, this is like a Sunday show. I'm just asleep today. Colorado inmates, thank you, appreciate the freedom to smoke pot in prison, but the irony is not lost on all the felons. Former small-time pot dealer Ben Salter told High Times, quote, "It's a bit funny because I'm in prison for weed." He says, "If I was born just a few years later, I would have been a successful small business owner instead of a felon." Salter's cellmate, John Winston, tells a little different story. He says, "If I had used weed on the outside instead of crystal meth, I doubt I would have killed that hooker." I guess you never know, because she was pretty nuts, like most hookers. Maybe smoking weed would have helped her, and she wouldn't be dead now. Hindsight is 20/20. I don't even mind being put in the hot box now. In fact, I find it relaxing. It gives me time to think about my screenplay. Yes. Colorado conducted a poll on the Pot for Prisoners program, which came back overwhelmingly positive. "Certainly helps kill the time and makes the concrete cell more manageable," Winston said. "Only 17 years left on my sentence. Hey, maybe meth will be legal by the time I get out." There you go. See, that's just gold. And, of course, you know, I did ask for it in the last segment when I was covering Kim Kardashian's butt doll. Didn't I? I said, can we get another story on Ferguson? And, of course, what comes up in my feed now from Jenny? Ferguson protester actually burns down own house. Hey, right on. Yes, a protester in Ferguson, Missouri accidentally burned down his own house last night after mistaking the building for a convenience store. According to a report in the Ferguson Post-Gazette, 32-year-old Tyler Jackson threw a Molotov cocktail into a window, not realizing he was setting ablaze his own residence. The home, which was empty at the time, subsequently burned to the ground. Quote, "It was dark. It got all turned around. I thought it was a 7-Eleven or something," he told the newspaper. Witnesses described Jackson shouting expletives after he realized what he had done. He then tried to put out the flames himself with a garden hose, but eventually called 911 and asked the fire department for aid. He says, "They told me they were too busy with other fires to come help," he lamented. "I couldn't believe it. I mean, we pay these people salaries. What do you mean you're too busy?" I bet you it was all the other burning buildings. Yeah. A black person's... Oh, here we go. Yeah, see, a black person's house burns down and suddenly you're too busy to put the fire out. This is what racism in America looks like. Oh, yes, Ferguson was the site and has been for several months of controversial shooting on August 9th when Michael Brown, unarmed black teen, was shot by police officer Darren Wilson. Protests have raged in the town after a grand jury refused to indict Wilson on Monday, although the majority of protests, 2 Mondays ago, the majority of protests have been peaceful. A substantial minority of the protesters have been attacked, or have attacked, law enforcement officers, looted stores, and set fire to buildings. These attacks have been called self-defeating because they usually target stores located in their own community and owned by local business people, some of them their friends. The damage has been compounded by the fact that many fires go unattended due to concerns for the firefighters' safety. Nevertheless, sources say Jackson is considering filing a civil rights lawsuit against the fire department for not responding to the blaze. He says, if it weren't for racist firefighters, I'd still have a home. And again, much like the stolen cigarillos, it wasn't nothing I did. No. Well, and this is some good news for our Tim Hortons sponsors here at HTLA. Protesters burned down Dunkin' Donuts in response to police brutality. Yes. Protesters in New York City burned down a Dunkin' Donuts store last night in retaliation for the death of Eric Garner and other victims of police brutality, of course. According to local reports, several used Molotov cocktails to set fire to a branch of the venerable donut and coffee chain in Manhattan, believing its destruction would, quote, punish the police force. No one was injured in the blaze, and 4 arrests were made. We need to hit the police where it hurts, explained Damon Jackson, one of the perpetrators. Donuts are the fuel that feeds the NYPD's machine of oppression.
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show?
Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, the machine of oppression. Oh, this is too damn good. We tried the court system, and they didn't listen. We tried marching in the streets, and they didn't listen. Then we set fire to their donut supply. You better believe they're listening now, he says. Protests have occurred around the country in recent weeks over several instances of police killing unarmed black men. In the latest case, a New York grand jury refused to indict a police officer in the choking death of Garner, an unarmed, asthmatic black man accused of illegally selling untaxed cigarettes. There's the cigarettes rearing their ugly heads again. Yeah. Garner's choking is just one in a long line of similar incidences in which black men have been killed by white police officers who subsequently go unpunished. In a statement published in its official Tumblr this morning, the police responded to the burning. Quote, the NYPD strongly condemns this heartless act of destruction. The organization wrote, donuts are a delicious snack enjoyed by millions around the world. Destroying a supply of these tasty treats isn't just an ordinary crime, it's a crime against humanity. Mainstream protest organizers have condemned the Dunkin' Donuts fire as unnecessary act of violence. However, they are planning a non-violent alternative to get these yummy pastries out of the hands of the police. Yeah. It's well known that most people who work in commercial donut bakeries are low income and minorities, says civil rights activist Al Sharpton. We're encouraging these people to go on strike. By cutting off the supply of donuts at the source, we will prevail. There you go. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this is rich gold right here. Gold. Yes. What else we got here? Oh, yes, the burned teen that I spoke about yesterday on Coffee and Cigarettes from Batesville, Mississippi. Yeah, there's a great mystery brewing there now, apparently. There's not a lot of street talk in the small town about the death of the 19-year-old who was found burning along a dark road, and that's making it difficult a very difficult case to investigate, authorities said today. DeSoto County District Attorney John Champion and Panola County Sheriff Dennis Darby called a news conference to give an update on the investigation into Jessica Chambers' death. There's still a lot of stuff going around, and we just need to clear some of it up, Champion said. On Saturday night in rural Panola County, deputies responded to a call about a burning car and found Chambers on fire walking down the road. Gravely injured, she was taken to a Memphis hospital where she died the next day. Officials said they were still working to determine who doused her with a flammable liquid and set her on fire. Champion said there have been no arrests, and police don't anticipate one in the near future at this point. We have to keep pounding the pavement and follow up on leads, he said. Not only are there no suspects in the case, but police have not even been able to determine a possible reason why someone would want to murder a teen. Many in her community of 500 people have described her as friendly, fun-loving person who got along with everyone. It's impossible to formulate a motive without a suspect, Champion said. He said the gruesome nature of the murder makes it appear to be a more personal crime, but we have not ruled out that it was a random act. He said investigators are continuing to interview witnesses, which they'll likely be the deepest well of information. Both Darby and Champion say everyone that they've talked to has been very cooperative. None of the forensics we have now, I don't think, will help us. We don't have anything out there that we're waiting on at this point. This will be a shake-the-ground case, he says. Investigators are also checking Chambers' cell phone records and looking into reports that she attended a party before her death. Champion wouldn't divulge much about the condition of Chambers' cell phone other than to say it's a usable piece of evidence. Well, the widely reported scenario that an accelerant was poured down Chambers' throat and up her nose has yet to be proven forensically. Chambers finally told the Clarion Ledger earlier this week that she had been doused with something like lighter fluid. Final autopsy results, which are expected Friday, will likely clear all that up, Darby said. Until those results arrive, Darby and Champion implored anybody with information to contact the authorities. Somebody knows something, and for whatever reason, they haven't gotten it to us, Champion said. Well, that might be that little thing called guilt. Yeah. What do you think, Louie?
Use power. That's why power is corrupt, and it is. We see it every day. You see it in every job. It's the same thing. You love to do that kind of stuff. You always did.
Uh-huh.
And put your name up there and dress in different stuff. So fantastic. If I can be of any help, let me know. So what's the email address?
Wait a minute. Dress in different stuff. What? I don't...
Can you give me any help for $25,000?
No.
The music is fantastic. Oh, you got to hear it.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you, Louis. He said street talk in the community about the case is almost non-existent, and that he said that's very rare. For lack of a better word, this is just a really great mystery right now, Champion said. Darby further said that the investigation affects the sheriff's department emotionally because Chambers' father works as a mechanic in the motor pool. This is personal to all of us up here, Darby said. We'll figure this out. As investigators continue searching for clues into Chambers' death, her tiny community is also looking for ways to help. There's been a GoFundMe campaign set up to help cover funeral costs. A candlelight vigil is being held for her on Saturday at the Cortland Town Square at 6 p.m. Chambers' classmates from South Panola's class of 2013 will organize with signs, balloons, and candles and will walk to the candlelight vigil for her on Saturday as a show of support. Yeah, and that's about all there is for that one there, boys. My goodness. And before we close it out today on the lovely shoe, I guess, I'll thank Louie, of course. Thank you, as always, for being there. I love you, man. How about the sexual predator who wins $3 million in the lottery? Yeah. It's a true story. He did. Convicted sexual predator is now a rich man after winning $3 million in a Florida lottery scratch-off. Timothy Poole, 43, purchased the ticket Saturday night at a convenience store in Mount Dora near Orlando TV. Poole was arrested in 1999 on a charge of sexually battering a 9-year-old boy, a member of a family whose home he had once lived in. Yes, Poole denied the charges, but eventually pleaded guilty in attempted sexual battery and was sentenced to 13 months. He's already served in jail. And now he's got $3 million. That's justice for you. Well, there you go, gang. Thank you once again to HTLA Radio 1 for allowing me to bring this joyous gold to you every day. And Kate and Jenny and Louie and all the rest, Joanne Bagnall, Devlon Crawford, you all know who you are. You guys have a great Thursday night, and we will catch you here tomorrow for the Friday Kicker. Have a good one.
You got it locked into New York's best talk, HTLA Radio 1, New York.